Well, YouTubers, I have a video here for you, and kind of going through the motions on this one. And if you can tell by this first shot here, for those of you that have seen a lot of my videos, there's a big portion of my system missing right here. And basically, I was down here adjusting and setting the heights and everything, just kind of playing with the heights because the water was leaking out the back of this here, and all these pipes were filling up, getting pretty full, getting pretty heavy. So I was trying to get a more steep flow on the whole system. Probably the worst thing that could have happened. And I have a video that I posted just before this, and it was basically an update on the whole greenhouse and everything. And now this is the new update, I guess. But anyway, you can compare those two videos as to what it looked like and pretty much how much we lost, which we didn't really lose a lot of the lettuce and spinach and all that we were growing here, but because we saved a lot of it. And I'm going to be quite the vegetarian here for the next week or so, because it's about the shelf life on this stuff is about a week. But we're gonna give some away, a lot of it away probably, hopefully, and just start replanting. But basically, I'll tell you what happened. I was down here at that end, and I was tweaking one of the pillars there holding this up, and I had the system in my hand like that, and I felt it just start twisting, and I looked down that way, and all of this basically just twisted over and fell to the ground. So it's all wet, and if you could just imagine these tabletops here, they were soaking wet, covered in gravel, roots, fish dookie. It smelled like a freaking fish pond right after, afterwards. A lot of gravel on the ground here, but oh well, no biggie. It took a loss, but not too bad. I guess it could have been worse. I guess maybe it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened. I'm always afraid that the worst thing that could happen is a tree would fall on this greenhouse, because we're in the middle of the woods and trees fall a lot around here. But anyway, we just I just took it in stride. I mean, really just kind of focused on getting the plants back to growing, I guess, and then worried about all the cleanup and everything. Basically just had to cut a portion of it out. That's the portion that came out there, just the one pipe on the end here, and cut that out and then just fasten it back together. And so I lost about that much, not too bad. It's about 12 or 15 cups or something like that. And I mean, I can always replace it. I just didn't have a fitting to replace it now, and I didn't want all the plants to just sit there and dry out, and I had to get water back to them. So just hurried up and cut the two broke ends. I'll show you what they look like. Basically broke like that, just kind of twisted apart and snapped. Now this is schedule 40, split all the way down the end. I just dumped a big pile of gravel there, but I'll need that. And broke off right here too. So it happens, I guess. But I guess on the upside, you always count your blessings, and I really needed to take a lot of the crop out because the roots were starting to clog up the system, starting to make it bubble up over the cups here, and actually come through right here, and it would leak out. And I guess a way that you could fix that and not even worry about that is just have a grommet that goes around this pot insert here, and like a little rubber grommet, and it would keep it watertight. But that'd probably be a couple $100 to do something like this, a couple $100 extra to do something like this for all those rubber grommets. So As long as you keep the water level below this crack here, it won't push out. Which, I mean, these net pots, they're my solo cups. These solo cups do a pretty good job. Like, even if the water gets up above here, it'll get jammed up in there. It'll leak, but if you were to take this cup out, it would actually spew out. So it does a decent job without a little rubber grommet there, a little rubber washer. Here's a root that I haven't took out yet, but just took all the roots and put them in the compost. They had a lot of nice nutrients and everything in them, so went ahead and composted everything we could, saved everything we could, and we're going to give a bunch away, and we're going to eat a bunch. There's my brandy wines. And these systems, everything's doing really well though. I mean, it really, really is. The weather's starting to change. It's starting to get a little bit cooler. The sun, or I should say the shade, is coming in a little bit faster into the greenhouse, so it's cooling it off, and plants are still getting plenty of sunlight that they want. And tomatoes are doing really nice. Very happy with everything. And we're just kind of taking it as we get it. So just wanted to show you guys that, just kind of give you an idea of what can happen with a system like this. Now, ways to prevent that would be to fasten this to this somehow, but without actually putting a screw into this pipe here, I mean, there's no way that you could keep it from twisting, because basically what happens is when all these plants, they lean over like this, they pull the pipe over to one side or the other. Or you just anchor them all up like this. You know, anchor the top so it takes the lean weight off of the system here, and then it shouldn't roll on you. I mean, shouldn't move really. But it might still leak if you get a lot of roots built up in there. So I guess keep up with like a regular harvest, and just remember that once you perfected your system and it starts working really well, that plants they'll be growing much faster than different kinds of growing systems and everything. So, you know, just kind of taper your harvest here, or taper your planting, so you can harvest as you need to. Like my son comes up over here and it sets over there, and so pretty much from the end of the system to about here till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon is really sunny. So what I would want to do is start planting in the front first. I had to think about it there for a second. So you plant in the front first, and as the plants mature, you know, they take some of the intensity off the sun from the plants in the back, which are younger, but then as the younger ones mature to a harvest stage, you pick the plants in the front. And so you're basically putting the plants in the way of the sun when they're needed, and taking them out of the way of the sun when they're needed to be taken out of the way of the sun, so that the mature plants in the back can get all the sunlight that they need in this particular setup situation, which you know, take it in stride. But I hope that this video helps you all, and I hope it keeps a catastrophe like this from happening to any of you viewers out there, because it was pretty bad. I had my wife, 8 months pregnant, or 7 months pregnant, 7 or 8 months pregnant, come out here and help pick up all this lettuce and stuff. I mean, God bless her, she's a trooper. And her neighbor came over to help fix this. I mean, it was a all hands on deck kind of situation. You know, we had to just put it back together as quickly and as efficiently as we could, and then worry about cleaning it all up, and just make sure that we got the plants good to go, good to grow. So take care, and see you next time.